Hello and welcome to SDN Tech Forum. This is ISR 1131 Initialization Part 2. What we have in agenda today, let's see. We are going to configure NAT. In last video you have seen we have powered up the device and upgraded it using one shot install. So the router is running 17.12.03 latest iOS XE software. Now we are going to do some initial configuration so that this router is ready for production and uses. That is, first thing we are going to do is configure NAT to make it ready so that wired client at home they can start reaching out to internet. And the second thing what we are going to do, we'll configure the WLAN module because it has an embedded wireless access point inside it, and we are going to configure that WLAN so that client at home or office they can connect to the network wirelessly. As you can see in this picture, this is what we are going to build. So we have two PCs, one wired, another wireless. They are going to connect to our router, and this router has an AP inbuilt, and that router in turn is going to be connected to a service provider so that we have the internet connectivity. What you see inside and outside, those are NATing concept. So any private IP address which is inside local, they'll be translated to inside global and hence reach out to any public PC or server. So let's do that. This is the sample config we are going to use, and this is the bare minimum config. And let me quickly walk you through the config side and we will start configuring it. As you can see, we are going to run DHCP on router itself. So this is our DHCP pool. This is the pool we are going to use for connecting our PC, printer, etc. At home. That's private subnet 192.168. Then the second thing what you should note is there is an access list, and this access list is essentially we are going to use when we use the NAT statement. That means any traffic within this subnet, this is eligible for NATing. And if you are familiar with the NATing concept, this is our NAT outside and this is our WAN interface, and we have NAT inside, and that NAT inside is actually going on to be a logical interface which is VLAN in this case, and we are going to use VLAN 10. As you can see, any client which is connected to our 8-port switches which is inbuilt on this ISR, they'll be part of VLAN 10 and their layer 3 termination is interface VLAN 10. Hence their gateway is going to be 192.168.100.1, and obviously you need helper address to go to DHCP and get an IP address. Finally, the NAT statement. Here you can see we are saying IP NAT inside source list, and we are referencing an ACL, and ACL is nothing but this subnet, our private subnet or home subnet. And what it is we are doing, we are saying that okay, whatever is in this subnet, translate it to interface gigabit 000, because this is a home broadband. We don't have a dedicated public IP address, hence we are using whatever IP address available dynamically. That's why we are just referencing the interface. And then finally we are saying overload. Why? Because we don't have multiple public IP addresses. I just have one public IP. Most of us, if you are using home broadband, you get one public IP address assigned from your service provider, upstream service provider, and that's what I have. But at the same time, you want to go to multiple internet services, then we are going to use overload keyword. That means one IP, it is going to use TCP UDP port numbers against the same public IP address. So basically the PAD concept. Okay, and then the agenda 2 is wireless config, and wireless config we will come back once we have or verified this thing. All right, so let's go back to the router. All right, as you can see, our router has booted properly, and we have our interface, WLAN interface going up, and we have one of the interface where we have the PC connected 010, that is up now. What we don't have right now is the WAN interface connected. So let me show you the configuration real quick. Nothing is configured. As you can see, our WAN interface is in shutdown state. So we are going to connect the WAN cable and then do a no shut here. Other than that, all 8 ports, they are layer 2 and nothing is configured there. So this is our baseline. Let's go ahead and let me connect this WAN interface first. Let's see if the interface goes up. Okay, interface up now, and it is actually requesting IP addresses via DHCP. So this very moment it is going to start DHCP process and try to reach out to upstream ISP's DHCP server, and DHCP server in turn has assigned an IP address here, as you can see. So this is our WAN IP address. All right, so we have internet connectivity. Let's verify. However, if we go to this port here, you can see there is nothing, only the ARP and other things are going on. We will start with DHCP config. You can also configure lease time, etc., but we are not going into that. Let's go ahead and configure VLAN. So VLAN doesn't exist. Order of operation. Let's create VLAN 10. Name is employee VLAN. Exit, and then we're going to configure this again. This time around it should not complain. Good. Now let's go ahead and configure the actual VLAN interface. All right. At this point of time, you can see we have VLAN up, and this part is also up. Let's go and see what happened here. Did we get any IP address? It looks like we have an IP address here. Let me go back and show you. As you can see, we have got an IP address, but this is manual. So let me flip this and say use DHCP. And very soon we should see an IP address showing up here, 192.168.100.2. Let's go back to the image again. So what we have done, we are running DHCP server here. This port is in VLAN 10, hence my PC can receive an IP address in VLAN 10. All right, so now what we want to do, we want to make sure that we want to verify if there is an internet connectivity or no. A lot going into Wireshark, so that's not a best candidate. From router we can ping 8.8.8, but let's see if we can ping 8.8.8 from LAN side or no. As you can see, we cannot reach 8.8.8. All right, and let me stop this thing here, because we are sending a lot of DNS query, but we are not getting any reply back because we don't have internet connectivity. So what we are missing? We are missing the NAT concept. So let's go ahead and build NAT on our router. NAT configuration is very easy. First, we are going to say NAT inside, because that's where our LAN subnet is. Interface VLAN 10. I'm going to say IP NAT inside. and then figure out what will be your NAT outside, and as you have guessed right, it is going to be our WAN interface, that is gig 000. I'm going to say IP NAT outside. After this, we need to specify how this NAT is going to happen. So for that, we are going to use this IPNAT source list command. And as soon as you do that, the NAT is in place. What you can do, you can run some command show IPNAT translations. And here you can see we have a lot of translation going on. So this is the verification from router side. Let's verify from the host or PC itself. As you can see, now we have 8.8.8 subnet reachable, and here is my PC. As if I go ahead and restart this, the Wireshark, you will see this time around we have a lot of traffic, DNS query, DNS reply, and everything. Yes, you can see we are sending application data. That means my wired host now available and it can reach internet. So that is the phase one.